Operation Ajax, the time the CIA overthrew an entire government for less than a Hollywood movie. It's 1953, and Iran's prime minister just nationalized every drop of British oil, every barrel, every pipeline, every refinery, gone overnight. London calls Washington with a simple message: we need Mossadegh removed. The CIA sends one man, Kermit Roosevelt Jr., Teddy Roosevelt's grandson, into Tehran with a fake passport and a suitcase full of cash. He buys military officers, odd newspaper editors, religious leaders, and street gang bosses. Anyone who can turn the public against Mossadegh gets an envelope. CIA-funded radio stations flood the airwaves, fake newspapers hit the streets, and paid crowds fill the squares chanting slogans written in Virginia. The first coup attempt fails, and the Shah panics and flees to Rome in the middle of the night. But Roosevelt doesn't leave. He doubles down, unleashes a second wave of paid mobs. And this time, Mossadegh's government collapses in a single day. The CIA called it a success. 26 years later, Iran called it something else. A revolution. Bay of Pigs. The secret invasion of Cuba that the whole world found out about in 72 hours. In 1961, the CIA trains 1,400 Cuban exiles in secret camps in Guatemala to invade their own country and overthrow Fidel Castro. The plan is simple. Land on the beaches, spark a popular uprising, and Castro falls without America officially firing a shot. On April 17th, the Exile Brigade lands at the Bay of Pigs, and everything falls apart immediately. Castro already knows they're coming. His forces are waiting with tanks, artillery, and 20,000 soldiers against 1,400. President Kennedy refuses to send American air support, and the exile fighters are completely surrounded within 2 days. Over 100 exiles are killed, and nearly 1,200 are captured. The CIA's biggest public humiliation in history. Castro uses the failed invasion to tighten his grip on Cuba and moves closer to the Soviet Union than ever before. Operation Mongoose, 33 classified plans to kill Castro, including exploding cigars and a poisoned wetsuit. After the Bay of Pigs disaster, the Kennedy administration doesn't give up on Cuba. They get more creative. In 1961, the CIA launches Operation Mongoose, a secret campaign of sabotage, propaganda, and assassination attempts targeting Fidel Castro personally. The ideas range from deadly serious to completely absurd. Exploding cigars, a poisoned diving wetsuit, and a seashell rigged with explosives placed on a reef where Castro liked to snorkel. The CIA even reaches out to the American mafia, offering mob bosses a deal to take out Castro in exchange for getting their Havana casinos back. Sabotage teams infiltrate Cuba to blow up sugar mills, poison crops, and contaminate fuel supplies. None of the 33 assassination attempts work. Castro survives every single one, and later jokes that he outlasted all of them. Operation Mongoose is quietly shut down after the Cuban Missile Crisis, but the full list of plots isn't declassified until decades later. Operation Gold, a 1,500-foot secret tunnel under Soviet Berlin, tapped directly into enemy phone lines. In 1954, the CIA has a problem. They can hear almost nothing coming out of Soviet-controlled East Berlin. Their solution is insane. Dig a 1,500-foot tunnel from the American sector directly under the Soviet sector to tap into underground military phone cables. They build a fake radar station above ground to hide the tunnel entrance and quietly dig for months underneath one of the most surveilled borders on Earth. For 11 months, CIA agents sit underground in the tunnel with headphones, recording 40,000 hours of Soviet military phone calls. But there's a twist. A British double agent named George Blake told the Soviets about the tunnel before the first shovel hit dirt. The Soviets knew about the tunnel the entire time, but let it operate for months because exposing it would have revealed their own mole. In 1956, the Soviets stage a fake discovery of the tunnel, and both sides pretend the other got fooled. The U-2 incident, a spy plane at 70,000 feet, convinced it couldn't be shot down. It was. By 1956, the CIA has a new weapon, the U-2, a jet that flies at 70,000 feet, far above any Soviet missile or fighter. For 4 years, U-2 planes fly directly over the Soviet Union, photographing every military base, missile site, and airfield. And the Soviets can't do anything about it. On May 1, 1960, pilot Francis Gary Powers takes off from Pakistan on a flight path straight across the Soviet Union. Over the city of Sverdlovsk, a Soviet SA-2 missile reaches 70,000 feet for the first time and blows the U-2 out of the sky. The CIA assumes Powers is dead and tells President Eisenhower to say it was a weather plane that drifted off course. Then Khrushchev reveals that Powers survived, the Soviets have the wreckage, and America just got caught lying to the entire world. The incident destroys a major peace summit and pushes the Cold War into its most dangerous decade. Project Azorian, the world's largest ship, secretly built to steal a nuclear submarine off the ocean floor. In 1968, a Soviet nuclear submarine called K-129 sinks in the middle of the Pacific Ocean with nuclear warheads, code books, and 98 crew members on board. The Soviets search for months and can't find it, but the CIA pinpoints the wreck 3 miles below the surface using underwater listening stations. The CIA's plan is ridiculous. Build the largest deep-sea recovery ship ever made and secretly lift the entire submarine from the ocean floor. To hide the mission, the CIA convinces billionaire Howard Hughes to announce that the ship is a deep-sea mining vessel looking for manganese nodules on the ocean floor. In 1974, the Glomar Explorer sails to the site, lowers a giant mechanical claw 3 miles down, and grabs the submarine. During the lift, the submarine breaks apart. The CIA recovers a section with 2 nuclear torpedoes and the remains of 6 Soviet sailors, but loses the rest. The mission stays classified for years, and when the CIA is finally asked about it, they invent a phrase still used today: "We can neither confirm nor deny." Operation Cyclone, $630 million a year funneled to Afghan fighters, the biggest covert program in history. In 1979, the Soviet Union invades Afghanistan with 100,000 troops, and the CIA sees an opportunity to give Moscow its own Vietnam. The CIA launches Operation Cyclone, funneling weapons, cash, and training to Afghan Mujahideen fighters through Pakistan's intelligence service, the ISI. The budget starts at $20 million a year. By 1987, it hits $630 million, making it the largest covert operation the CIA has ever run. The game changer is the Stinger missile, a shoulder-fired weapon that lets a single fighter on a hilltop shoot down a Soviet helicopter. The Soviets lose over 300 aircraft in Afghanistan and pull out in 1989. The CIA calls it one of the greatest covert victories of the Cold War. But the weapons don't disappear when the Soviets leave, and some of the fighters the CIA armed will later become the Taliban and allies of Osama bin Laden. The Bin Laden Hunt, a decade-long manhunt that ended in 40 minutes inside a compound in Pakistan. After September 11th, the CIA launches the largest manhunt in history. Every resource, every agent, and every tool pointed at finding one man, Osama bin Laden. For years, every lead goes cold. Bin Laden moves through the mountains of Tora Bora and vanishes completely. The breakthrough comes in 2007 when the CIA identifies bin Laden's personal courier, a man named Abu Ahmed al-Kuwaiti, and follows him for 4 years. The courier leads them to a walled compound in Abbottabad, Pakistan, a military town just 35 miles from the capital, hiding in plain sight. On May 2, 2011, I-2 Black Hawk helicopters carry Navy SEAL Team 6 into the compound at 1 in the morning. One helicopter crashes in the courtyard, but the SEALs push forward. 40 minutes later, bin Laden is dead on the 3rd floor. The SEALs destroy the downed helicopter, fly the body to a carrier in the Arabian Sea, and confirm his identity using DNA before burying him at sea. The longest manhunt in CIA history ends with a 10-year trail. One